All right, so we're going to be taking a look at HitFilm Express 12. This is the program I've used to edit the couple of videos that I've made for documentation purposes, which means that when I edit this particular video, it'll be a little bit of deja vu. But for instance, let's just start up by doing a blank field. Now you can choose any kind of template that'll edit out the rest of these details, but for now I'm just doing 1080p at 30 frames per second. You can change the duration if you want. I'll just leave it at 5 because you can actually change that once you're in. So we'll just make this new project. And now you've got several screens here that are really important. So the first one is the viewer. You can also view layers, but I'm not as familiar with that. I'm still very much an amateur with this program. But the viewer is where you will see the video that you are editing in the editing screen. And you get it into the editor by pulling it from the trimmer. And you get it in the trimmer by importing it from the media screen. So there's a couple of steps and it's kind of like zigzagging, but we'll get there. So to start off, let's just go to import. We'll go to import media. And I will just pull one of the videos I did a couple weeks ago, email documentation. One of the things you can do is, right now you have a 11-minute, 43-second, and 23-frame long video in the trimmer. And if you would like to, you don't have to pull everything from this video and put it into the editor. You can set an in point and an arbitrary out point, and it won't do that. And then you can insert a clip. And since we have a 3-minute and 47 long in and out point section, we have a 3-minute and 47-second long clip that we can edit. If, let's say, you're at this point in the video and you realize that for the next, 23 seconds, let's just choose that arbitrarily, there's footage that you don't want. You want to make a cut from this point to the other point 23 seconds ahead of time. Then what you can do is use the slice tool, hover over this, and basically that cuts it into 2 chunks. There may be a better way to do video editing, but this is the one that I found. And let's say we go forward about 23 seconds. That's probably a bit more. Whatever. The amount of time is not important. What's important is the concept. We'll make another slice. You can then use the selection. Now, you should be able to use the selection tool. I'm not sure why it is not. We have to use that one. Yep, that's the one. And then you just hit delete. Oh, that's right. That's the moving tool. My bad. So then, by selecting this, yeah, okay. You can move that in, and now you've shortened your video as well, but you've made that cut. Let's just take a listen. And there's the cut. Nice and simple. Now, you can also do some other stuff here that is a little bit more complicated. So you can also do effects and transitions, dissolve, and let's get a better view on that. And it dissolves into the other one. You can do other ones like motion or wipe or zoom in and zoom out. You can make it as stylish as you want or as unstylish as you want. Now, let's say that we're done editing this video. And, oh, look, there's me. But let's say we're done. Then you'll go to... Actually, before we do that, let me figure out how long this is right now. Roughly 3 minutes and 27 seconds. So what we're going to do in the viewer field is set our out point. And that cuts the rest of it that it's going to consider. Now we have an export, and we can export an in-out area. Now it it asks if you want to continue working or if you want to go to the export field. So we're going to go to the export, and I've done this a fair few times, as you can see. Then, with this one selected, we're going to also choose where. Right now it's just in the default FX Home export folder, so we're going to stick with that. Save that, and start exporting. That's a fairly long video, so I'm going to let this export, and then there'll be a cut, so don't worry about that. Now that we've exported our video, it's saved, but let's just say that when you record audio yourself, there's always some kind of background noise, unless you're in a studio. So there's, it could be noise from an AC unit, it could be anything. Since HitFilm Express, it does have a noise reduction feature, but it is a paid add-on. So since I'm going to assume that you, like me, do not like to pay for add-ons, we'll do something a little bit different. So instead, I recommend using VLC Media Player. VLC Media Player is a very, very useful. It has support for a wide variety of different products. What you do in this case, this is only used to extract the audio. So we're going to go to Media and Convert/Save. I'm going to open this. We're going to convert. So what we're going to do now is convert it to MP3. So you just go to Convert, select Audio MP3, and then we'll just make this example audio. And start. Depending on the size of your video, it may take a little bit of time. Of course, I chose the longer video, so it's going to take just a second. So now that that's been converted, I'm just going to go double check where it was saved to. Where was the destination? That's right, I just dumped it in the same. So we'll go to File Explorer and navigate to the same location. There's the example audio. And now we use another program that I really enjoy. I've used it for years, called Audacity. The sheer audacity. And we're going to open. And we're going to grab this audio. Just going to import for a second there. Now, I've actually already run some of this through noise reduction when I made this video earlier. But since we've got a stretch of silence here, you'll need at least 5 seconds for it to get a good noise profile. So we're going to go to Effect, Noise Reduction, Get Noise Profile. And then we're going to select all. Noise reduction. You can mess with the settings, how many decibels you want it to reduce by. I'm just going to stick with something around there. And then click OK. It's going to take a second to apply the noise reduction, so we're going to wait. It doesn't look much different. Like I said, I've already run noise reduction on this. So now we go here, we go to Export Audio. I'm just going to save this to the desktop to make it easier on us today. I'm going to call it Example Audio again. So we're going to save, click OK. There's no settings we need to change there. As a note, you may need to check out Audacity's help section to understand how to install the MP3 codecs for you to actually export them to MP3. That is not something that is automatically included with the program. I'm not entirely sure why, but that's something to look into as well. So now that we've done this, we're going to X out, not save. We're going to go here. We're going to click on Media. We're going to click Import Media, Desktop, Example Audio, and it's going to generate a preview for us. We're not going to worry a grand amount about that. And we're going to just select we're going to set an out point that's shorter than the total video. And then we're going to mute the native audio from the previous clip that we've already uploaded. And we're going to insert. Now it automatically puts it in the first audio, so we're going to actually drag it down here. Technical difficulties sometimes happen like that. Start this over. See if it actually opens it. Oh, it does. Perfect. So, starting over, we're going to go to Media, grab the example audio. There it is. Set an out point. We're going to drag this over here, insert a track, mute the native one, and then input. Now it does push everything around, which means you have to do something like this. But now you've got this new audio in, and that's kind of where you want it. And again, if you want to export this kind of thing, you would just click export the in-out area. That would cut off this last part here. So got to make sure that everything fits in the right amount of time, and all the basics of editing boil down to make sure that you've got everything you want in the amount of video that you're exporting. So you would follow the exact same instructions as before and export it, go to export, there it is, and then click export. Or actually, I'm sorry, start exporting down here. And it'll show up just like it did before. And then you can play the video, upload it wherever you want, put it up on YouTube. So I hope that that was helpful and answered some questions about how to use HitFilm. It does have a little bit of an unintuitive user interface. So I hope that I was able to explain well where the things that I've used the most, at the very least, live in the user interface, and that will help you if you ever decide to use this program and use it for your video editing. Anyway, there we go. That is how to use HitFilm Express for some basic editing tools.